Good morning. Welcome to Cochise College in Douglas, Arizona. My name is Nicole Ziegler, and I'm an ESL teacher here in the Intensive English program. Currently, I'm teaching Level 3 Listening, Speaking, and Grammar course. And this is a brief presentation on task-based language learning and language teaching. So what is task-based language teaching, or TBL? TBL is an approach to language teaching that is based on the belief that learners will be more successful, will be more effective in learning forms and focus when their minds are focused on the task instead of on the actual language they're using. It's based on communicative tasks, so tasks that mimic real life, real experiences, and that help learners exchange meaning through the manipulation, comprehension, production, and interaction that they need in the target language to communicate with one another. Some of these tasks might be sharing of stories or experiences, some things that will mimic their real life or realia experiences. Some examples of tasks are information gap, reasoning gap, problem solving. As a teacher, you can create different tasks to help learners achieve different things. It's kind of a reverse of the present, plan, and produce. Task-based language teaching usually starts with production and then goes sort of backwards to that other way we're used to teaching. So you may be asking yourself, well, how can I use TBL within my classroom? TBL usually has three phases. You have the pre-task phase, the during task phase, and the post-task phase. During the pre-task phase, teachers can help frame the activity and help prepare students, as well as help motivate them for the task. One of the ways to do this is to discuss the usefulness, the purpose of a task. This is especially helpful in students seeing why these tasks are relevant or important to them. Today's task, we're going to be working on phrasal verbs. And so I'm going to adhere to the pre-task, during task, and post-task framework. And so the task we're going to be doing, the during task, is a picture task. It's in my students' textbooks. And what they need to do is order the pictures as well as come up with a story, while hopefully trying to use those phrasal verbs a little more often than they would otherwise. For pre-task, we're going to look at a story that's already in order, so it's a similar task. The students will still have to come up with the story. This will help them to prepare and to feel comfortable using the phrasal verbs when they actually begin the task. Okay, so guys, hopefully you're listening to that. So we're going to be doing a picture story. And so in your textbook, if you look at page 113, okay, you'll see 6 pictures there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to order those pictures, and then you're going to tell the story. So just to practice, to kind of prepare you for it, I have some pictures here. Now, these pictures are already in order. Okay, so this is similar to what you're doing, just a little bit easier. Right? So it'll be a little more complicated what you're doing. Okay, so can you guys see this okay? Can everyone see this all right? Okay, so in this first picture, what does this look like? What do we have here?
Schedule.
A schedule, right? Yeah, it's a schedule. It's like a planner, maybe a calendar. So it says Laura turns 30. Okay, so Laura looks like she's having a birthday. Okay, so what do you think this is over here? Can you see her okay? What is it? What's going on in that picture?
Maybe they just bought a house.
Maybe they bought a house? Yeah, sure. Who do you think that is? So if Laura turns 30, who do you think this woman might be?
His husband.
Yeah, sure, it could be the husband, and this could be Laura, right? Yeah, it could be Laura. So maybe Laura and her husband, maybe they bought a house, sure, who knows? Okay, so that could be part of your story, right? Laura and her husband are standing in front of the house they bought. And we go down, we've got some other pictures. What is this? Can you see it?
Cake.
A cake, right? Yeah, it's a birthday cake, right? It's a birthday cake. So maybe this is Laura's birthday cake. So what might you say in the story about this birthday cake?
It's her anniversary.
So it's her anniversary, so we say it's her birthday, right? She celebrated her 30th year. She just turned 30. So what could you say? What's something that maybe you like to do on birthdays? Party, right? Yeah, so you could say something about, she's having a chocolate cake at her party. Okay, and then what is this a picture of?
A boat.
It's a boat. How could that fit into this story, this birthday party?
Maybe a trip on boat.
Yeah, maybe they went on a trip on a boat. Yeah. Who would go with her? husband, your friends, right? Lots of people. So lots of different options for a story there. Okay, let me go down to some other pictures. What is this a picture of? Fish, right? Lots of fish. Okay, so what could the fish, how do they fit into this story?
They're going to eat some taco fish.
Maybe they're going to eat some taco fish. Okay, I like it. Did they catch the fish?
Maybe they fish.
Yeah, maybe they went fishing on the boat. Maybe they caught them themselves. I don't really know much about fish, so if you do, you can say what kind of fish those are. What about this picture? What's going on here?
Lobsters.
Lobster. Yeah, I thought they were crab too, actually. It looks like a lobster. Here we can see the tail. Okay, so how did this fit into the story?
They were to be
They were taken?
They went to a restaurant.
They went to a restaurant, okay? So they had some fish, they went to a restaurant. What else could happen in that last picture?
They're going to celebrate.
They're going to celebrate eating lobster. Right? Lobster is usually very expensive, right? Very expensive. And so it's a good way to celebrate the birthday, right? Eating lobster. Anything else that maybe could have happened with this picture?
Maybe they don't like fish and they prefer lobster.
Excellent. Maybe they don't like the fish they caught, so maybe they have lobster instead. Great. Okay, so lots of different options. You know, your stories can be very different. You all came up with very different things right now for the same pictures, right? So you all had at least 3 or 4 ideas for the same picture. So you can decide what story you want to make. Okay, so look at page 113 in your book. Okay, so we have 6 pictures here, right? And you'll see that there's a letter for each picture. The first thing I want you to do is to decide what order the pictures go in. So in this one, the pictures are already in order for us. We have the planner, then we have Laura with her husband maybe, then the birthday cake, the boat, the fish, the lobster. It's already in order. You're going to decide what order these pictures go in. Which one goes first, second, all the way to the last one. Then you're going to tell your story. So we're going to work with partners. So I'm going to pair you up with a partner, okay? And then you'll go ahead and begin your task. Teachers can also do pre-task planning, helping students with non-task activities to help prepare them for the tasks, as well as supporting learners in a similar task to the one they're going to complete. Most research has suggested that pre-task planning is optimized at about 10 minutes. So if that's something you decide to do, keep that in mind. The during task phase offers a number of task performance and process options for instructors. Teachers can provide varying time limits, allow access to specific input data, or they can introduce surprise elements into the task to kind of help keep their learners on their toes. Now, these options are planned in advance, these performance options. Process options occur during the task execution. And these are a little more spontaneous, and these will come about based on the teacher's own personal experiences as well as those of the students. And so those are a little more on the fly, less planned. Post-task is where the form and focus really comes into play. This provides opportunities for repetition of the task. It allows time for students to reflect on the task, as well as to really focus attention on the specific grammar or the exercise that the teacher is trying to encourage. One possibility of repetition that's very useful for students is to work with partners during the task, and in the post-task phase, perform something for the whole group in a more public environment in front of the class. Not only does this help learners to practice their form, but it also mimics that real-life experience of having to do something in front of other people, and it kind of takes them out of their comfort zone, which is where it's most difficult to produce language in the target language. This increases the real-life situation for learners. Reflection can also be very useful, helping students to reflect on what they've learned and speculating on how they can improve their errors. Follow-up activities might include noticing exercises, a review of learner errors made, or production practice. And while all of these phases can be helpful to task-based learning, the only one that's really, truly necessary is the during task. That's what makes TBL exactly what it is.